The magical readathon continues. Let's read some books.
Turn it, pages keep turning those pages. Time flies when you better read it for ages.
A quick update of where I am so far in this readathon. I'm going to be looking at my notes so that it doesn't take 5 hours for me to try and remember everything in a well said way. I am going for the career of a wand maker. Right now I've completed I should probably get my books, huh? So far I have completed Care of Magical Creatures, my special certification to become a dragon tamer, to read a book with a dragon in it. I've also listened to all of the Bane Chronicles novellas on audiobook, but I'm only going to count those for prompts if I'm desperate at the end, which I just might be. And I'm currently partway through the audiobook for Trials of Apollo Book 4, The Tyrant's Tomb, which counts for my arithmancy, which is to read a book outside your favorite genre. My favorite genre is YA, and that's a middle grade, so it counts. Don't tell me it doesn't. Alright, let's go. Just kidding, I'm still here. So I started A Heart So Fierce and Broken for Ancient Runes, which is to read a book with a heart in the title or on the cover. And so far I'm really liking it. The main characters from the first book, Ren and Harper, haven't really been in this book that much so far, which is a little weird because I'm like over 100 pages into it. And it's mainly focused on Gray and this new character. This glare is being weird. But I think the storylines are about to start connecting. So this vlog might have to be for the next 2 weeks of the readathon because it is already Saturday, April 18th, and I'm only 165 pages into A Heart So Fierce and Broken. I have not done much reading, and this is the first clip I filmed for the vlog because I've only been reading a couple pages at a time. I am really enjoying it, but I'm not hardly much further than I was when I did the intro to this video. So there's that. I'm also, though, about 75% into Trials of Apollo Tyrant's Tomb audiobook. I don't know if you can see like the percentage on there. So there's that. It's been pretty good. I don't know if it's any better or worse than the other ones. Probably about the same as the other ones in the series. It's very entertaining, and it's a little bit different listening to it as an audiobook, but still really entertaining. I might have missed a few little things here and there because I was working on my artwork while listening to the audiobook, and so I might have been concentrating a little too hard and missed a little bit, but I still pretty much know what's going on. Because I need to finish this book, and then I actually technically only need to finish one more book in order to have completed my wand maker career thing, because that's 5 books, and I can count one of the Bane Chronicles novellas for the one that starts with an M, so I can do that. But that's where I am. I need to read more, but I haven't been because I've been watching too much TV. What else is new? Okay, goodbye. Not goodbye, I'll see you with the next clip. I don't know. What? Another trial for Apollo. He quests and we follow. Follow him, our dear Apollo. Alright, it is about 2:30 p.m. on Sunday, April 19th, and I am going to see how much of A Heart So Fierce and Broken I can get read today. I'm still only on page 166 because I have not been reading it. I thought I saw a bug on my ceiling. I think that's just a weird dark spot. Anyway, time starts now. We'll see how many pages I can read today. So Ren, who seemed like a pretty decent guy in book 1, has been doing some pretty not so nice things so far in this book, and I really hope this isn't going to turn into a Tamlin from A Court of Thorns and Roses situation, because I liked Ren, and I don't want him to become the villain. But it's kind of weird what he's doing in this book. I can't say much because spoilers, but like, it's kind of messed up, and I'm not liking it. It's a heart so fierce and broken, will it ever open? What tore you apart? Fierce and broken heart. What's this? It's extremely rare to come upon one of these in the wild. It's a book, but which book is it? Carefully, don't want to spook it. It's Hunted by Megan Spooner. It is April 30th, the final day of the Magical Readathon, and I finally finished Hunted by Megan Spooner last night. This book was kind of weird. I don't want to let this turn into a long rant about this book, because I have a lot of feelings and they're not really that positive, just because, I don't know, this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I think I mentioned that before, and like around the time that it came out, 2017, everyone was promoting it and everyone seemed excited to read it. But then after that, it was one of those books that just kind of disappeared, and I didn't really hear anybody talk about it except for in TBRs. I never actually heard anybody do a review of it, and I think I see why. It's not that original for a retelling. It doesn't really change the story except for in tiny little elements that don't even make that much sense. So it's like a slower, darker version of Beauty and the Beast that's not as cute or interesting. It's like, and it's possibly just reading taste in this instance, because it was mostly about the descriptions and I guess the atmosphere and the feeling. But like the atmosphere was just kind of like dark and gritty, so it wasn't like the atmosphere was super cool or interesting, like for example in Deep Light, where it took this cool idea of these undersea monsters and like made a whole culture out of it, so that the descriptions and things were like, oh, this is neat, this is neat. This is just like the woods and an old gross castle. So the descriptions weren't all that like exciting. In my personal opinion, I don't find describing the cold over and over and over again that exciting. Okay, this is gonna get very negative. I don't even know what to rate this so far because, like, I don't know. I did finish it, mostly because, one, I bought it, I paid $3 for it, and also because it was part of the readathon, so, like I said, I was reading it up until yesterday, so if I didn't finish it, I would have to find another book that fit this prompt, and I didn't want to do that. So, anyway, if you are more interested in description-heavy books that are not a lot of plot, but have very good descriptions. Her descriptions are very good. It's just, that's not what I wanted from the story. I wanted it to be more magical and a kind of different twist. I was hoping for a different twist on Beauty and the Beast, and this was just pretty basic. Beauty and the Beast, and even the part where they explain the curse and how the Beast became the Beast, I didn't really understand that. It didn't really make a lot of sense to me. So I will say the one good thing is the characters were well developed, and like I said, the descriptions, like the writing itself was good. It's not like it was bad writing. It's just I think it was a different sort of story than what I wanted, and not necessarily my kind of story. It's like a fantasy, but it's like really light on the magic, really. So I like magic to be more in your face, and the magic was very subtle and realistic in this, and I didn't really like that very much because I need my magic to be like sparkly and shiny and exciting, and this was just like low-key magic. So I think I've said enough. It's been 5 minutes of my ramblings on that, so I'm going to leave that there. I am almost done with Trials of Apollo. I'm going to finish that today, and that will probably be it for my magical readathon. I should probably do a wrap-up, I guess, of what I read and what counted towards what. I'll do that after I finish Trials of Apollo, though. Okay, I have finished the Trials of Apollo book 4, The Tyrant's Tomb. So it was a little bit more serious than some of the earlier books. It still had a lot of funny parts, but it was a lot more about Apollo's character development, which is good for him, but it made the overall tone of the book less funny. And I did kind of lose interest about 2/3 or 3/4 of the way into the book, but I'm not entirely sure if that is just because I didn't feel like listening to an audiobook and I felt like listening to music instead, or if I was just getting frustrated by my overall slow progress in the readathon. I was also reading Hunted at the time, and you know my feelings on that book. It's kind of like because I was supposed to be reading, I didn't want to read. Kind of like a kid that just doesn't want to do their homework. I don't know. But I did really enjoy the fact that they brought back some characters from the Heroes of Olympus series. For example, Raina, Hazel, and Frank made appearances for like short periods of time in the book, and those were actually the highlights of the book. Since I really do like those characters, I feel like I'm a lot more attached to like the Percy Jackson characters and the Heroes of Olympus characters more than the Trials of Apollo original characters. Like, I really like Apollo, but I find Meg kind of irritating. I don't really like her. So whenever it's just Apollo and Meg, I get a little annoyed, but I really like it when the characters from Heroes of Olympus kind of pop in and brighten up the story a little bit more. I don't know, I feel like Meg just kind of brings the level of maturity of the story, I guess, down a notch. But anyway, so as far as my wrap up for the entire readathon goes, I will just go through that briefly. So including the 5 short stories that I listened to from the Bane Chronicles, I read and listened to a total of 10 books throughout this readathon, which gives my overall grade on all of my classes an O, which I think stands for outstanding. So that's pretty cool. And I am aware that yes, I listen to short story audiobooks, but they still count because they count as a book on Goodreads, and I feel like it all evens out anyway, considering some of the books I read were kind of on the long side. King of Crows, I'm sure no one cares that much anyway. Like, this readathon's already been over and my video is going to be up pretty late anyway, so in case you've been sleeping through the first vlog and the beginning of this video, I am going for the Career of Wandmaker. And so the first book for that was Ancient Runes. So I read A Heart So Fierce and Broken by Bridget Kemmerer, sequel to A Curse So Dark and Lonely. Absolutely loved it. I think this is my favorite book of the readathon. It was really good. Next was Care of Magical Creatures, to read a book with a beak on the cover, and for that I read King of Crows by Libba Bray. Kind of disappointing. I rambled enough about it in the first half of this vlog, or part 1 of the vlog. For charms, you needed to read a book with a white cover, so I read Hunted by Megan Spooner, and I rambled about my feelings on this earlier in this video. We don't need to go through it again. And for arithmancy was to read a book outside of your favorite genre. My favorite genre is YA, so I read Trials of Apollo, which I think is technically middle grade, or at least in my library all of the Rick Riordan books are in the middle grade section, so close enough for me. And I read Trials of Apollo, which I just said. And for herbology, it was to read a book with the title that starts with an M. So this one I'm counting the short story The Midnight Air from the Bane Chronicles to fulfill that prompt, because I was not actually able to read My Lady Jane, which was my original choice for this prompt. I just ran out of time because I put this book down for at least a week because I just could not get through the middle section. And then as special training to become a dragon trainer, I read Into the Land of the Unicorns, which has a dragon named Firethroat in it. So that actually fulfills all of the prompts that I needed for a wand maker, but I also read some extra books. So for Transfiguration, I think the short story The Runaway Queen counted because they transformed Mary Antoinette into another person, so I'll count that as Transfiguration. And then I did listen to one of the short stories, I think the Saving Raphael Santiago, I read mostly at night, so that counted as one of the ones. I think it was Astronomy is the one where you read it after dark. I think that's all of the ones that count. I'm not sure if any of the other short stories took place on the coast or near the water. I would have to actually look up the cities that the different stories took place in and figure it out, but I'm not all that concerned about it, to be honest, since I did actually meet my criteria for the wand maker. I'm pretty happy. So now I can go make a bunch of wands and train a bunch of dragons and do all that cool stuff. Point being, I can go on to the Newts in August if I want to. We'll see. I feel like by then maybe I'll have chilled out and ready for another readathon. I don't know. Anyway, let me know how you did in the Magical Readathon. If you participated, I would love to know. If you did vlogs or anything and I happen to have missed them because I wasn't really watching a lot of YouTube this month, which is weird. I should have, but I don't really know what happened, honestly. If you want to leave a link to your vlogs or just tell me about them in the comments. I would be happy to chat about how you did on your readathon or just how your reading in general has gone this month. If you've been reading, did you get distracted and watch TV instead like I did? Let's chat about it in the comments. Talking to you in the comments always makes my day, and I will see you next time for my next video. Goodbye!